Let me just introduce a little framework here, breaking down the class warfare, class conflict. Let's look at subclasses. Let's look at the class of the taxpayer, the class of the worker, the class of the consumer, the class of the community as a class. I mean, without community, there's crisis. And take our different roles, worker, consumer, small taxpayer, patient, whatever, and voter. And then see in each one of these vertical slices what kind of class conflict there is. I mean, in the voter area, there is voter discouragement and suppression along an income line. We see a lot about that now. It's complex. It's not just what the Republicans are trying to do with voter ID. In the taxpayer area, clearly the more powerful taxpayers have been able to game the system quite beautifully, especially corporations. General Electric tax lawyers get bonuses when they go to zero and when they get money back called tax benefit from the Treasury. In the area of the worker, this is where unions come in. Investors collectively bargain through their corporation, but workers are individuated. In fact, corporate strategy is very much toward individuation. They do not like community strength arrayed against them for bargaining power. Ralph, so I just think this is a good way to look at this.
I want to bring it back to the import of the question, which is how we provide unity. And I think Neil wanted to offer some suggestion here. I mean, bring the country together in terms of common purpose.
The issue of residential segregation prompts me to warn you against imaginary golden ages. I already alluded to this once. I have to tell you, this is how the world works. Through most of history, there has been a tendency for people to shift their location to the nicer neighborhood and to leave the poor behind in the less nice neighborhood. And I imagine that you could stop this and turn the clock back to 1950s Iowa in an age of very rapid urbanization, I think is illusory. So let's be clear about what we can and cannot do. We can't kind of bus people from the Upper East Side to the Bronx for their own moral good. So let's be realistic about what this country's history has mostly been like. And let's not keep choosing golden ages to begin the discussion. Do you think there wasn't residential segregation in urban America 100 years ago? You bet there was. Imagine taking a trip to New York in 1912, what you would have encountered in Hell's Kitchen and what you'd have seen just a short distance away on the Upper East Side. So I think we have to be very careful about what we can aspire to. The key is not to change the configuration of our cities. The key is to make sure there's social mobility. And the big problem that we have is that people get stuck in the slums and have no prospect of getting out of the slums. That's the issue that we need to address. With growth and social mobility, the problem, it seems to me, takes care of itself. With stagnation and no social mobility, then you have ghettos. You have something altogether worse than they would have been in 1912. So that's really the issue. Adam Smith has a great line about this in The Wealth of Nations. He talks about the stationary state. He's actually talking about 18th century China. But what he says very interestingly is, in a stationary state where there's no growth, the elites do just fine. This goes to the point about the collusion of elites. It's the laboring majority who are poor, who suffer. It's growth, therefore, that is really the most important solution to this problem.